Well, hello and welcome to Prescription for Change with Dr. J. I am so excited. Today we are celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month, and I have a very special guest on today. Very, very special guest. And her name is Stephanie Norris, and I'm going to bring her on in just a few minutes. But today we're looking at from frazzled to dazzled. Okay. And I know our lives are hectic, our lives are crazy, and it's like, how do I get organized? How do I do what I need to do? And so without further ado, let's bring Stephanie on. Okay. She is with Personal Touch Lifestyle Management. So I'm going to welcome Stephanie. Yay. She's coming in just a second. There she is. Yay, Stephanie. She's our guest, Stephanie Norris.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Stephanie. And I know we're having some technical issues on the end with the Wi-Fi, but we'll see how far we can get through this because I know you have a lot of cool and helpful things to tell people. And so Stephanie started her own business several years ago. She's a recently divorced individual. And she said, you know what? I just have to have some freedom. I have to have financial liberation. I have to be able to help people's lives. And so she's all about putting the mind freedom back in you. And so she went to a special accredited program, got the degrees and necessary papers that she needs to be able to be a life coach. She also has a concierge business on the side that she connects together, all with the umbrella of making life simple for her clients. So Stephanie, I know we're having a couple of issues here, but we can hear you. So tell us a little bit about what it means by we change lives by offering clients what we like to call mind freedom.
So hopefully you guys can hear me. And yes, I'm having some serious technical issues. So talk about anxiety right now, right? But mind freedom is just allowing the clients to let go. So allowing our clients the flexibility to do the things that they want to do in the way that they want to do it, and allowing us to be the ones who can handle their affairs for them in the way that they want it done, knowing that they'll get it done with the same due diligence that they would put towards it. If that makes sense.
No, that makes beautiful sense. So, why are we even talking today about, let me see, I'm going to take you out for just a few minutes and see if we can get you back up, and I'll bring you back in. Why are we even talking about mental health today? And believe it or not, it's a huge issue affecting hundreds of thousands of people, okay, if not millions. And so anxiety is a big one. And we look at anxiety as like a nervous disorder characterized by a state of excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically to the point where people may have obsessive compulsive behavior or even panic attacks. And this is not something that's just reserved for the old or the young. We can see it in all ages. Even pets can have anxiety. And so now researchers are learning that anxiety disorders can even run in families and that they may have a biological basis, almost like allergies and certain chronic conditions like diabetes. And so many people who have underlying depression may actually report in the past a history of anxiety early in life. So when we look at self-care, which is what Stephanie is going to talk to us about, we try to look at what is this? Why is it important to even care for ourselves? And I see a couple of you are watching us live. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions, you certainly can put them to the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. My guest today is having a couple of technological difficulties, so hopefully she'll be able to pop back in, and that's okay. We're going to get through this because she has so much helpful information to share with us. So I'm going to add her back to the stream. And Stephanie, if you can talk to us a little bit about what is self-care? What is self-care? All right, I think she's still having some challenges. So self-care is basically the process by which you put yourself as a priority. When I started medical school, we were taught that in order to be effective for patients, we had to recognize that we ourselves are patients and we have to put ourselves as the first patient, because if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not in a good position to take care of other people. And so with what Stephanie Norris is going to talk to us about, and hopefully she can get the technology together. Just as she was saying, you want to talk about anxiety. This is the perfect, because we practiced during the week. Everything was fine. But
Yes.
that's just it. Life happens, right? And so we have to pivot and flow and go with the ebbs of flow in life. And guess what? It's going to be okay. Like, it's okay if things don't work out exactly as you want them to in life. So even though we didn't plan for this to happen, I'm glad it did for this topic. So Stephanie, tell us about self-care. What is self-care?
So I actually could hear a little bit of what you were saying, and you were exactly right, doctor. Self-care is all about taking care of you. You cannot take care of your family. You cannot take care of your husband, your children, your relatives, your friends, if you are not first taking care of yourself. And so typically what I always say is put yourself on your daily to-do list every single day. Allow yourself something. It can be small, it can be for 10 minutes, it can be for an hour if you're able to get an hour in. If it's a daily routine of exercise for you, fine. But if it's just simply putting a candle on, listening to good music, watching your favorite TV show, going and buying something for the house if you're trying to do something to beautify your home, whatever it is to make you feel good. Always put yourself on your to-do list, because what happens is we put everything else on the to-do list and we forget about ourselves. So self-care is all about putting you first, making sure that you're in a peaceful state throughout all the chaos so that you can then be well for others.
I love it. So put yourself on the to-do list. Powerful. There we go. Put yourself on the to-do list. Everyone say that. Put yourself on the to-do list. Powerful, powerful, and powerful. All right. So then we talked about that. So Stephanie, is a life coach the same as a therapist?
No. And I think it's very important. That's a great question. It's very important to understand the differences. Both are very good for you. I believe that people should have a therapist as well as a life coach. But I'll tell you the main difference. The most important difference is a life coach will never diagnose you. A life coach is not a medical professional. So therefore, we cannot diagnose you with anxiety, depression, anything. We also can't prescribe medications and things like that. A therapist, who is a medical professional, along with your primary care doctor, is able to do that for you once you're formally diagnosed. So that's the one difference. The second difference is in where most people usually get the light bulb, aha. A therapist, in my opinion, is someone who takes you in the past and says, tell me about things that have happened that may trigger anxiety, for an example. Mm-hmm. So you'll go back into the past and you'll think about things that have happened to you. And then what a therapist is going to do is they're going to give you the techniques to actually cope with that. So they're going to say, okay, you have anxiety. This is the trigger for it. This is how we identify the triggers, and then you cope with it. So you don't necessarily get rid of anxiety, but you manage anxiety. A life coach is different. So a life coach is going to say, what is your end state? Anxiety anymore, coach. I don't want to be stressed, because anxiety is just because you're stressed usually about something. Of course, there are forms of.
Uh-oh, did we lose her again? Oh no, she was.
Okay, go ahead. You may not be, but a lot of times it's brought on by some trigger. So you say, hey, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And so it's trying to take you. Did I lose you?
No, you're here. We're here. You're going a little bit in and out, but.
Okay. So a life coach, hopefully you heard that. A life coach is going to take you from where you are and take you to a place of where you want to be.
Ooh.
And you work with that life coach as your accountability partner. Because a lot of times for all of us, whether it's weight loss, whether it's trying to get through a relationship, whether it's trying to start a new business, you just want to be helped. You want someone that you can talk through, who can hold you accountable. And that's what a life coach is. We're more of a partner to you than anything else.
I love it. I love it, Stephanie. So tell us a little bit about what are the types of people that typically hire a life coach? I mean, is it expensive? Can your average person afford to even have it? Or is this for the rich and famous?
No, definitely not for the rich and famous. I think a lot of people, whenever I've talked about life coaching, people say, "Oh, I see that on reality TV all the time." No, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have a lot of money. The one thing I will say that is unfortunate today, most life coaching fees are not necessarily something that you can go through your insurance company, right? So you are going to have to pay out of pocket. You can use something like your health savings account sometimes and things like that, but you need to talk to a tax professional about those types of things. But you can't go through insurance, unfortunately. But it isn't something for the rich and famous. Typically, you can find a life coach in the range of maybe $100, an individual life coach, $100 to maybe $250. Then you could also have a corporate life coach. Corporate life coaches, of course, they tend to charge a lot more, but then usually you're able to get your employer to actually pay for it. So that's another thing that I would encourage people. While it isn't something that you can get reimbursed through insurance, a lot of employers now recognize the importance of coaching and life coaching and just professional coaching, and they will pay for a life coach for you. So there are different ways that you can get it done. But as far as different people, all types of people come. Again, the whole point of coaching is to get you from one place to another. So if you're someone who's struggling to start a new business, then you may want a life coach. If you're someone who's going through some type of transition in your life, maybe you lost a loved one, maybe you gained a loved one, you just recently gotten married, and you want to make sure that you and your partner are, going to be successful at this thing, because we know marriage, all relationships can be difficult, right? Or harder than we want. Then you might get a life coach. So you can get a life coach for many reasons. I literally have clients who need me really to just keep them on task. So they're unable to focus. So they're having a lot of issues. They have a lot of things that they want to do, but they just, after they put it on paper, they don't know where to go. So they get stuck. So you can have a life coach for all types of reasons.
That's awesome. So talk to us about how you got into this, because we're talking about going from, from just frazzled and, I can't get myself together to like being dazzled and on top of the world and organized, cool, calm, and collect. The woo-saw. What made you want to go into this?
Well, first of all, let me just say, I am a person in this, and I know that you talked about this earlier. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. I also suffer from generalized anxiety, and you know this. And so for me, it's always been, I didn't always feel this way. I didn't always have the stress and the anxiety, but it came on several years ago. And so now it's been about trying to manage that. So for me, it was just a series of life events for the most part. I've always been the therapist to my village, if you will. So I've always been the person that people would come to talk to. And then I just decided, you know what, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. Maybe this is my purpose. Maybe this is the thing that God wants me to do. And so I went and I took the classes that I needed to become a life coach and help other people get to a point where, we all have some type of mental challenge. We're not all diagnosed with anything per se, but 1 in 5 people actually suffer with mental health issues. And I actually believe it's more than that, because everyone is not diagnosed, right? But there's going to be a time in your life where you're going to feel that you need help. My motto is I help people who are in transition in life. And a lot of the people that I work or talk to are in their 40s and 50s. And I like to say they're going through a midlife transition. And if they don't do what they need to do, it'll become a crisis. So that's when you talk about midlife crisis versus just a midlife transition. So I work with people on everything. It doesn't have to be bad things going on. It could be really good things going on too. And you just need help.
That's very, very good, Stephanie. All right. So I understand that if a person wanted more information, they can always email you at info@personaltouchlm.com. And we have that scrolling for a little bit. And if you've heard everything Stephanie has said, these are people, if we're all on a road going somewhere. And when you get in the car for a road trip, you usually need a map or GPS or some type of direction assistant to help us get from one place to another, especially in places that we're not familiar with. And so life gives us those unfamiliar turns and twists and bends. And so a life coach, from what I'm hearing you say, is there to help take us where we are today and help us get where we're trying to go without being frazzled, so that we can arrive at our destination cool, calm, and collected and in one piece.
That's right. And understanding that everything isn't going to be, we may stall, you know, everything isn't going to just happen magically overnight. It's going to take some time. And that's why you have someone to just kind of keep you steady, to let you know it's okay. It's okay. We just keep moving forward.
How much education does a life coach? Now I know you work for this is something you did on the side. So you had, you did your schooling and all that, but how long does it take for someone to actually go out there and become a life coach?
So it's actually interesting, to be quite honest with you. You don't have to be certified to be a life coach. So anyone can say, you know what, I just want to be a life coach. Now, I don't recommend that. I recommend that you get certified by an accredited institution. There's the International Coaching Federation, and they have tons of ways for you to become a life coach. There's a lot of different courses. For me, I took, it was about 4 months, but there are programs that go maybe a year. And then after that, what normally happens is you continue, it's continuing education, right? So you just continue to go to classes to learn other techniques and better techniques for clients.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. So we understand with it being May and Mental Health Awareness Month, sometimes there are very serious issues that folks are going through. And we can't leave this program without letting you know that if you find yourself or a loved one in serious crisis, Maryland has a special number, 211. And you would press number 1, or you can even text for help. So in Maryland, if you're in crisis, feeling like you're going to hurt yourself, or a loved one who's really in a dark, dismal place, 211 is a resource for the state of Maryland. But also you have the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number that's available 24/7. 24/7. There are people there to assist folk who are in serious crisis, and 800-273-8255. Now, of course, we don't want people to get to that point, but the reality is people are there. And so the message for this broadcast is more so we want to prevent people from getting there. So if you find yourself slipping into a place of darkness and you're not wanting to get out of bed, or you're so anxious that you can't, you feel yourself jittering even behind the car, call your primary care provider, reach out to a healthcare professional. And if it's something maybe not medically serious, but you're just not making deadlines and you just feel like you could be more tight, you can step up your game, we got a life coach. Yes. And a life coach, even if you slip into that place where you need medicine, the life coach can still help you once that medicine is on board, or help you make those lifestyle changes to get you on track. So the message here with Prescription for Change is there's no excuse to stay in the darkness. You can come out of darkness into light, into marvelous light, as the Bible says in some cases. So you want to be able to get the help you need, get the resources you need. And I'm so happy that Stephanie Norris has joined us today. We're going to have to get her on again when we have better connectivity issues. But just like we had trouble today connecting, that happens in life. It happens. You get a flat tire. You have, all these different issues. There's never a perfect day to have a flat tire. There's never a perfect day for the ATM to eat your ATM card, or for you, which has happened to me. The ATM ate my card. It's never the perfect day, but we have to be able to pick up and pivot and keep it moving. And so these skills that she went over today are very important. And remember, for your prescription for change, put yourself beginning today on your to-do list. So do something special for yourself, but don't be selfish about this. You all have friends and family, and I want you to call someone, and together you guys can be held accountability partners for each other. Check in with each other and make sure that you each are putting yourselves on your own personal to-do list, so that at end of the year, at the end of the week, you can say, I did it. For example, I went to the gym this morning. As soon as the gym opened, I got in some miles on my machine of choice for working out, and I feel good. Yay! And I went to the gym a couple of days last week, more than maybe the 3 days, 5 o'clock in the morning. So maybe that's not for everyone. I'm not telling everyone to go at 5, trust me. But find what your pocket, what makes you feel happy. Put yourself on your to-do list. So Stephanie, you have any parting words for us? We really appreciate you joining.
No, I do. I think you did a great job. Thank you so much for, again, inviting me. I really hope I can come back and we don't have these issues. I just want to leave you guys with a couple of things. Just remember, everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent. So just remind yourself that it's going to be okay. You'll get through it. Get rid of the guilty complex. We're going through a pandemic. None of us are perfect. So don't worry about it. Don't be guilty about anything. Stay connected, as the doctor said, and just find your peace in the chaos. That's what I want to leave you with. It's called finding peace in the chaos, and allow yourself to just keep moving through it, because we're all going to get through it together.
I love it. Find your peace in the chaos. Thank you, Stephanie. And so we're going to leave you with a little commercial. For last week, we had Dr. Petal Lemesey. And as you all know, she had the juice company. And some people have actually put up comments on YouTube. They didn't, or reached out to me privately. They didn't get all her information. So I'm going to run that commercial one more time. But we want to thank Stephanie Norris for joining us today. And remember, put yourself on the to-do list.
Why spend another day not looking and feeling your best? Why learn another diet program? Make your path to a healthy lifestyle simple with one of our delicious, pure, wholesome, cold-pressed juice that provides all the vital nutrients you need to feel alert throughout the day. Lose that weight and feel great with our proven Juice Cleanse plans. This energizes and transforms your body, mind, and soul. Our Systems Detox enables you to replenish your health and remove toxins with ease. Boost your immune system, improve cardiovascular heart health, digestive gut health, liver health, prostate and women's health, mental clarity, balance hormones, and more. We understand the huge challenge most people face in getting the required vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and enzymes. So with over 10,000 hours of research and development in each bottle of juice, we offer you all the vital nutrients you need in our products. Each product has 100% raw natural ingredients. No added sugar, sweeteners, water, or concentrates. No preservatives, HPP, or gases. Zero dangerous chemicals, artificial flavors, fillers, or synthetic additives. No artificial thickener, gum, or stabilizer. Plant-based, vegan-friendly. Dairy-free, gluten-free, and soy-free. With low calories and high vitamins, our plant-based juices increase vitality and fight diseases. To learn more and to shop, visit www.nksnutrijuices.com or call 240-610-3352.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Bye-bye.